All right, so, a little more clarity on the kind of symbolism that's found, the survey committee has found within that mosque complex. If you can give us some insight into that. But before that, like Abhishek did mention, the hearing at on the Gyanvapi controversy has just begun at the district court. The district judge, a more senior panel as compared to the civil court, will now be taking up the matter of maintainability, whether this plea itself that the Hindu side has filed asking to worship at the Gyanvapi Mosque complex at the back part or rather the wall behind the Gyanvapi Mosque, which they claim has much Hindu religious significance, whether this plea itself in court can be entertained or not, considering there's already a Places of Worship Act of 1991 that says any religious place must maintain its religious character, anything that stood after independence 1947. So the Muslim side saying that the plea itself filed by the Hindu side is illegal. Now the Supreme Court, who had already intervened, saying that this matter will be taken up by the district judge, considering he will be a senior, it will be almost a senior panel who will be looking into matter like this that has great sensitivity. The senior judge will now decide whether this case itself is maintainable in the court of law or not. So the hearing has just begun. We hear that the hearing has now started. All the points that will be discussed is all decided at the district judge will be, of course, deciding on what points to be discussed first. Whether the maintainability issue stands, this will be taken up by the district judge. He will be starting with the maintainability issue is what we understand. Now, while the hearing begins, former Commissioner Ajay Mishra has not been allowed to go inside court. This is also the information that we get right from the court premises. The commissioner who carried out that survey, Ajay Mishra, has not been allowed to enter the court premises. His name wasn't on the list. Senior advocate Man Singh is now leading the Hindu side. Like Abhishek just mentioned, there was a fair share of controversy even while the survey was carried out. The former commissioner, Ajay Mishra, who the Muslim side had deemed biased, he, we believe, has not been allowed to enter the court premises now because he was already dismissed by the Varanasi court. He was, in fact, suspended as the survey committee commissioner after allegations of him leaking images and survey findings to the public there came to light. And now we hear that Ajay Mishra, that former commissioner, is not being allowed inside court premises. So Abhishek who's right there tracking all those developments. Abhishek, now all eyes on the district judge on what the judge would pronounce when it comes to maintainability of this case entirely. That said, give us the points that the court might touch upon first. Will it first look at the maintainability issue and only then get into the layers of the survey that was carried out? All the survey findings is now before court, and we know extensively what the survey says. Those visuals are there to corroborate that survey findings right here on our television on India Today, where we have seen, as part of the survey, extensive Hindu symbols that were found on the walls, carvings on the walls of the basement of that mosque there, showing very much of what exactly the petitioners said. The 5 women petitioners who claim that this was a temple which was desecrated to build a mosque upon. There is Hindu symbols inside that mosque, and that needs to be surveyed. And that survey seemed to have managed to find those kind of Hindu symbols.